Welcome to my very first Improving Toontown video. In this series of videos, I'm going to be giving my various thoughts and concepts and ideas as to how you could potentially improve things in the game. It's not exactly Toontown concepts, and anything that adds something actually new to the game that isn't specifically improving upon anything will be in the concept series. So, without further ado, let's begin. So back in OMGCon 2016, before Doodles were ever released, Joey said this about their upcoming plans for Doodles.
Yeah, training them. We want to kind of redo the system of training them so you don't just have to click the speech ad over and over and over.
Yes.
Well, naturally you can tell that Doodles have indeed come out since then and have not had any major changes, including with how you train them. Now let me just say that I am not a fan at all of the click the chat button, click the doodle phrase, and RNG your way through pressing those two things over and over until you've maxed your doodle. It's not fun, and I just will never train any of my doodles because of it. I don't have the patience to just sit there and click it, and again, and again, and you get my point. So I've had ideas bounce around in my head for a while, and I was thinking of ways that you could train your doodle in ways that aren't maybe so grindy, maybe aren't so strenuous, and especially for the payoff, that's just occasionally having a situation where you could probably use a doodle for some laugh in a battle. So I came up with basically what it's called. Doodle training. Now let me just say the beauty of an idea or concept is it can always be changed or adapted to whoever or whomever wants to develop it. So there's nothing here that is set in stone. You can change, you can develop this idea in any way you want to. It's just a thought platform, a suggestion, a concept. So let's say in my concept there's now a stand in each pet shop that instead of a pointless wall of paintings, food bowls, or fish bowls, now proudly declares Doodle training. It's here at this counter that you can step up to the clerk and a box like this pops up asking you to choose solo or multiplayer and what trick you'd like to train. Once you make your selections, you'd either be teleported, or upon choosing multiplayer, you would wait in a queue for enough people to join. So let's say you pick jump. It'd teleport you into a location for jump training. So here you would have tracks for you or the other toons playing with you. Your doodle pops in on the track, other toons' doodles pop in on the other tracks. So the way this works is a really simple mini-game take on doodle training. It's nothing major or hardcore, it's actually really casual really, but the idea here is that there'd be these obstacles, and you just get quick time prompts to follow to get your doodle to jump over the obstacles and reach the end, like up, or control, or if you're playing on a Mac, command. If you're solo, you get a base amount of EXP. If you're playing with others, first place gets the most EXP towards jump training, with everyone receiving at least the base rate. The idea that training with others is usually good because you can end up with more EXP than usual. After time runs out and everyone's finished, there'd be a prompt asking to play again, similar to the trolley, or an option to exit back to the shop. The idea being that there's these little mini games or competitions for each trick that you can play with yourself or with other toons. So for Bag, in theory, it could be something like the tug of war slider that, when pressing left and right repeatedly, keeps the doodle in the begging position for a few seconds, and maybe the most accurate toon after a few rounds wins, or just maintaining accuracy for 3 rounds in the solo mode maybe. Or for Speak, it could be a stage where each doodle steps up to a podium and you need to hit a series of buttons for the doodle to speak each time. It's really simplistic, but it still adds that competitive fire and probably is a lot less grindy than sitting there pressing the speed chat and pressing the doodle phrase over and over and over and just RNGing it to maxing your doodle. There's easily a combination of these style games that are thinkable, and I do have written down little concepts of them for each individual doodle trick, but I'll leave the rest for you guys to interpret and suggest in your own opinions. So what do you think? Is this a viable solution to making doodle training less of a grind and something a little more interactive and enjoyable? Should it also reward jelly beans or something else as more incentive? Should the games be different? Do you have your own idea on how to improve doodle training? Leave comments and let's start a discussion in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed the first dive into this Improving Toontown series. I have lots of random ideas that jump around from time to time, and I'd like to cover a lot of ground with this series. If there's specific things in your mind that you think could be covered in videos like this, also go ahead and leave a comment and let me know. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time in my next video.